Good evening. I'm Henry Goodwin, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. In Husker baseball news, the team announced its upcoming fall schedule with a home exhibition game against Wichita State on September 21st, and the Red-White Series, which is set for October 11th, 12th, and the 14th through the 16th. Former Husker pitcher Cade Pavich takes the mound tonight for the Baltimore Orioles as they take on the Houston Astros, and that game is underway. Earlier today, Husker football coach Matt Rhule spoke to the media ahead of the upcoming football season. The coach was asked about the backup quarterbacks, and this is what the coach had to say.
Yeah, but Danny's battling for it. You know, we wouldn't waste Danny's year in a mop-up situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wouldn't put Danny in at the end of a game. You know, Danny gets 4 games. So if all of a sudden we have a couple injuries and he's the starting quarterback, we're going to go win with Danny Kaelin. That make no mistake about it. We're going to go win with Daniel. But we're not going to put him in to hand the ball off for no reason, right, and burn a game. So he's preparing. He brings a lot to the table in terms of throwing the ball. Obviously, Heinrich's a dual threat guy, so Danny still gets reps with the twos out there. They kind of, they both get reps. But if we went in the game tomorrow, next Saturday, if something were to happen, Heinrich could go in the game.
You'll hear more from that presser later this hour. Tomorrow is Fan Day for Husker football from 11 a.m. to 12:30 at the Hawks Championship Center. You have a chance to meet the players, get autographs, and much more. Further details can be found at huskers.com. Tomorrow is also Fan Day for Husker Volleyball. From 9 to 11 a.m. at the Devaney Center, you can meet and get autographs from your favorite Husker volleyball player. And later that night at 6, you won't want to miss the annual Red-White Scrimmage. More details about Fan Day and the Red-White Scrimmage can be found on huskers.com. Can't make it to the Red-White Scrimmage? Listen here on the Huskers Radio Network. Pre-game coverage with John Baylor and Lauren Cook West starts at 5. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Now get ready for 2 hours of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium. It's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Back to throw, a play action look. Heinrich going to take a shot downfield. Has a man wide open. Malachi Coleman makes the catch. Touchdown, Nebraska. Back to throw. Step throws downfield, taking a deep shot down the field, and the ball's intercepted. Picked off by Tommy Hill. Has an INT. He's at the 15 to the 20. Breaks a tackle. Skirts to the outside. 25. Makes an man miss. Slides his way to the 28-yard line. Tommy Hill's second pick in as many weeks. Shot blocked back and covered. Above the net shot, Merritt Beeson kill. Wow. Couple of Huskers had to punch it off the net, and Beeson swings away. We love it in Lincoln. It's 29-10. Heinrich going to step back. Little G-belly action. Has a man wide open. It's Jalen Lloyd. The throw. He makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Sullivan gets the chest-high snap. Stepping up, being pressured. Gets hit and goes down. Huskers get their first sack of the game. Northwestern has given up the most sacks of any team in the conference. The Huskers get one there from Nash.
Here come the Razorbacks, bumping over the left. Gillen, she's stopped. Rick Allen, block number 11 for the team 16. They're body bumping in Lincoln.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Folks, got to tell you, the stadium's alive. They had the freshman class come out and take their freshman pictures about an hour ago. The band's going to put on a concert inside Memorial Stadium tonight. So life is around the football stadium tonight. A lot of folks, Jess, had to walk a ways to get into the studio tonight for this show, huh? Got to get your steps in.
Yes, I did. Camden even texted me to warn me that there's a lot going on around the stadium. And I mean, I followed his advice. I thought I got here in plenty of time, but they wouldn't let me park outside the stadium, so I had to park like a mile away. But it's great to see lots of movements around here. I'm assuming it's the freshman, maybe the freshman pictures happening too. And then also what really got me juiced when I walked in the stadium is the Huskers Radio Network is blaring through the concourse. And it it just makes me so hyped for next week, for next Saturday, because you walk through the concourse on a Saturday morning, and it's our programming that's in the concourse all day long. And so let's go. It's almost here. This is our last show before game week, and I cannot be more ecstatic about it. And I feel better, too.
Yeah, and it's a busy Saturday tomorrow. You've got Volleyball Fan Day over at Devaney from 9 to 11. And then back at the Hawks Championship indoor facility, the Football Fan Day tomorrow, 11 to 12:30. And then the Boneyard Bash is tomorrow afternoon for the football team, for the student body to come watch them and observe the football team out inside Memorial Stadium. And then you've got the red-white scrimmage tomorrow night back at the Devaney. So it kind of pinballs back and forth between Devaney and the football stadium tomorrow with volleyball activities and football activities. So, we talk about next weekend's kind of the launch, but really this weekend, and starts tonight with the picture for the freshman class and the band's performance. It's kind of underway. I love it. I think it's great. We're finally here. We've made our way through the end of summer months.
Yeah,
love it.
We talked a lot about. I kind of felt like it drug on, but now it's here, and it's like, okay, let's get it rolling. So it's finally feeling like, okay, it's time. Just this last maybe couple of weeks drug on a little bit for me, more than normal. And you think about it, Fan Day normally is a lot earlier, right? I mean, it has been since I've been here for the football team.
It's usually been like the first week of practice. So this is kind of backloaded.
But it's cool that it's on the same day as Volleyball Day, red-white scrimmage. Yeah, it's going to be busy around here tomorrow, and kind of gets things kicked off. It's exciting. And
love it.
Honestly, there's a lot for the football team, but then that volleyball scrimmage, there's a lot riding on it, too. They're going to look to that to figure out a lot of things before heading into the season opener on Tuesday.
We will have coverage of that here on the Huskers Radio Network. 5 o'clock for pregame with JB and Lauren. 6 o'clock first serve. John Cook has said we're playing 4 sets regardless. He said even if one side sweeps the first 3, we're going to get a 4 set in tomorrow night. So people are going to get their money's worth watching. And you're going to see some pretty high-caliber volleyball. I mean, as much depth as there is with the second-rate Cornhuskers, so that'll be a lot of fun tomorrow.
Greg,
Fan Day for football.
Don't you think if the team was split up, I mean, even if it was even or not even, the first team, second team, both teams probably be ranked in the top 25? Top
I think
15?
so. Yeah. Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I think they're that deep.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's that much talent, and I've asked now Lauren and Jalen the other day, and both of them have said, Jalen said since he's been here, it's the most talented team and deepest team since he's been here, and Lauren said for quite some time, certainly is, but I think you could probably split it up multiple ways, and you'd still have 2 different teams that would probably beat a lot of the best teams in the country.
Absolutely. That's how deep they are. Kind of a good problem to have. Football Fan Day, again, it's not in the stadium. It's going to be in the Hawks Championship Center. Lines will form on the west side of that building, and then they'll open the doors at 11 o'clock and let you come on in. You had to pre-register to get Coach Rhule's autograph, and it's going to be 8th grade students and under to get his autograph. So if you have not been notified, you're not going to be allowed in Coach Rhule's line tomorrow. He's just going to sign for those 8th graders and younger. I think that's a good way to do that. Everybody else is available to go out on the field. The groups will be set up in their position groups with tables. So if you want to get the tight ends or the defensive line or the quarterback, whatever you want to go get. And there's a full map at Huskers.com if you want to go get that and kind of pre-strategize how you want to attack Fan Day tomorrow. 90 minutes for football. Volleyball will go 2 hours over at the Devaney Center at 9 o'clock. For that. Football's also got a practice in the morning, then Fan Day, then the Boneyard Bash. So they've got a busy day for the football team tomorrow.
Greg, what would be your plan of attack for Fan Day?
I would not get the quarterbacks, even though I know Dylan's going to be a really popular thing. I would go get a bigger group. Maybe the wide receivers. I think that'd be a good play, or the defensive backs who have so many of those single-digit numbers. I think I might try to go get them and then maybe loop back around and maybe get like tight ends. It's a smaller room, or linebackers in maybe a little bit smaller room.
Well, I can tell you right now, I think probably like the most fun group, the most probably entertaining group as you go through the line would probably be death row, right? The D-line. Yeah. And the defensive backs, they've got a lot of character in that room too. And yeah, I agree with you, wide receivers. I think I would make a priority for those 3 lines. And I mean, I guess the O-line too, right? I would not want to make the big dog mad and leaving out the O-line. But the O-line's got some characters. They're a fun group too. But you got to be a little bit strategic because there's a limited amount of time, and you don't want to wait in one line too long. You want to get as many signatures as possible. So, but if you also want to have fun while you're getting those signatures, I think there's a couple of different lines you could target first. 90
minutes will go by in a hurry. It really will. If you're in line 20 minutes to get a group, then you're really down a lot. So there it is tomorrow. Should be a lot of fun. It always is great. I know the teams, both volleyball and football, look forward to this interaction with the fans. It's a big lift for them. I mean, people come in and get stuff to get signed, and I mean, it's just a real kick for the teams to see the fans face to face. So it should be a fun day tomorrow. All right, we're a week out. Matt Rhule met with the media today. We're going to play you some clips of that coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Also, a new episode of The Place came out yesterday, and it deals with NIL, and Troy Dannon's obviously a big part of this. We're going to play some of that for you in hour number 2. I think, people are still trying, Jess, to get their arms kind of wrapped around what this is. I mean, even you and I, who deal with this on a daily basis, we're still trying to figure out how all this works. So this was a pretty good little documentary put together by the Corn Crib folks dealing with NIL. Ross Dellinger from Yahoo Sports came into town, 6 weeks ago or so, and they interviewed him about all this. It's still a complicated issue. Everybody's trying to figure this out. So this is a really good view. We'll play a part of that for you coming up in hour 2.
Yeah, and it's changed so much, and there's so many questions, and how is this going to look? And, I had a chance to do the Ross Dellinger interview for the Place that you're going to hear in it, and we actually had him on the program as well. But it was just fascinating. They say that of all the people that are trying to put stuff out there and act like they're on top of it and following it, he's one of the ones that actually is in the know, and you do trust what he has and the information that he's putting out there. But it was just, I could have sat there and picked his brain for 2 hours, just on everything, and just what he has heard and maybe projected a little bit, and I guess some of the info and intel that he's had, where he kind of sees things going. But Troy Dannon's in it, Lexi Rodriguez. There's some really great names. Jonathan Bateman, who also is on top of things here. He wakes up every single day and tries to make sure that he's on top of everything. Every time I run into him, I ask him a million questions, and things have changed, even from week to week on some of the last information that he's told me. So yeah, it's completely ever-changing, and again, the Corn Crib completely knocked it out of the water, and it's a different kind of Place episode. It's really informative, but I think it's really fascinating, and I think a topic that a lot of fans are interested in hearing about.
So we'll have that, hour number 2. Also, Jeff's had a chance to catch up with Turner Corcoran earlier in the week. Now, I think he's 6th-year guy, right? Turner's been here a long time, and now the starting left tackle with Teddy's injury earlier in camp, so we'll have that conversation for you as well. And we want your input. Calls or texts, 402-413-2400. Deion Sanders in the news today, Jess.
Again?
He has gone to war with the Denver Post. The CU Athletics today put out a statement saying they will no longer accept questions from columnist Sean Keeler, who's the main columnist for the Denver Post. Colorado saying that this writer has been sustaining personal attacks on head football coach Deion Sanders, and so he's no longer allowed to kind of cover CU events. This is never a good thing. I don't think I know a lot of athletic departments get frustrated with members of the media that cover their particular universities or colleges or whatever, but this goes on another level. I mean, this guy's obviously Deion Sanders came in with a lot of hype, a lot of fluff, and they go 4-8 last year. That's going to open yourself up for some criticism. But yeah, this is a big battle going on in the Denver area. Well, obviously, we play them in a couple of weeks, but Coach Prime has gotten his school to back him to ban this one reporter, and that they're not going to be taking any further questions from a columnist from the Denver Post. Not
a great look, and he's already basically kind of shunned CBS. Whether it's your national or local CBS, right. He basically said he's not answering questions, right? That I don't know if it's been better since the one press conference the last week or 2 weeks ago when he went viral the last time, it seems like, when he wouldn't answer CBS questions, because the national outlet had ranked him, 10th or something in the Big 12 of coaches. And so it's just not a good look of how it's what you sign up for when you become a college football coach at a Division I program, like it or not. I mean, is there some unfair reporting? Probably. And that's not just at Colorado, it's everywhere. I mean, I think everybody can say that they've had their frustrations one way or another with something that was covered about their program. But you don't, even Mike Gundy didn't ban the Oklahoman. He just yelled at the reporter, I'm a man, I'm 40. But the Oklahoman didn't get banned from press conferences. It's just not a good look. It's not how you do things. It's what you sign up for when you become a Division I college football coach at a big-time program. And I can't believe that Colorado's backing him in it. It's one thing for the coach to not answer questions in a press conference, but to come out and say, hey, you are not allowed to cover. The Denver Post, too, that's a big-time newspaper.
Yeah, sure is. And now some of the other writers for the Post can go, but this particular columnist, they have just said, we're not taking any questions from Sean Keita, the columnist for the Denver Post. So a little battle going on just to the west of us out there in between Boulder and Denver today. All right, 402-413-2400. Again, that's the number if you want to be a part of the program. When we come back, we'll play some clips from Matt Rhule's press conference from earlier today as we get moving along here on a Friday night show on Sports Nightly.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See Shelter Agent Rhonda Miller in Alliance, Stephanie Culver in Holdridge, or Jonna Austin in Fairbury.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian automotive vehicles and operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
It's go time in the Midwest. The Labor Day sales event is on now. Time to get 0% financing or $6,000 cash back on a new 2024 F-150. Don't wait. Get our best deals on our best selection of Ford trucks only through September 3rd. These deals won't last forever, so that means it's go time. Go to the Labor Day sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers today. It all ends September 3rd. Now get 0% financing for 36 months for up to $6,000 cash back on a 2024 F-150. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. It's our Friday edition of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network, our first game broadcast of the year. Tomorrow, the red-white scrimmage for volleyball, JB and Lauren on the air at 5 o'clock on some of these Huskers Radio Network stations tomorrow night. Well, Matt Rhule came off the practice field today and met with the media. It's time for us to deliver to you another practice report.
It's time for the Nebraska football practice report.
Getting out of boot camp and getting to football is probably exciting for them, but also relief because I know a lot of these guys, the guys that came back, they came back because they want to get to the season.
And Coach spent about 17, 18 minutes for the media earlier today talking about kind of the close of camp. School starts here on Monday, so the roster can grow. You can now go above the 120 look for the roster after once school gets going. And obviously, I'll be totally into game week and work on UTEP from this point on. He was asked, what about the intangibles of this football team? What has he seen over the last 3+ weeks with his team?
I think this team has all the intangibles. At least certainly the veterans guys do. The veteran guys respect the process, and they respect the day-to-day work. So much to me of being a great football team is being in the moment and maximizing every day and every opportunity. The process is not the schedule. It's this mindset of, hey, we're going to dominate the things that we can attack, that we can control. And we have guys who work. Every day I get into it with Ed Foley because, Johnny Bullock or Tommy Hill's running down on scout kickoff. And he's like, Matt, I tell them not to, but they jump in and they run down, and so we have just such a tremendous work ethic with our veteran guys. Our younger guys, it's a work in progress, right? Which it should be, right? They're young. So, but they certainly have all of the football character and football integrity they need to learn from is right in that room. Like I'll give you an example. It's hard to have a great team when you have entitlement. And we have a lot of great players who've always gotten things. Sometimes they expect things, right? So you have a kid like Brian Buschini, who's is going to be a 3-year starter here. Would that be correct? 3-year starter. He's, I think, an excellent punter. And you got Nayor in 18. You got Prince Will in 18. You got Buschini in 18. And so say to Nayor, hey, you're the last guy here. What number do you want? And Nayor's like, Coach. He tells Garrett, Coach, I'll wear 99 if you guys need me to. And I love these numbers, but I'll wear 99. I come out yesterday. He's in 18. Prince Will's in 18. I look over. Brian's in 13. Brian's like, whatever the team needs. So that might be seen like a little thing, but it's not to me. And so I love that character, that integrity, making it more than just about myself. Our older guys, they don't have main character syndrome. They don't think everything's about them. So that should allow us to have a pretty selfless team out there.
Man, that's a great story. And it is true, when he talks too about the day-to-day, I think just the conversations that I've had, I'm not out there at practice every single day, but just, when I chat with some of these older guys, I think they got a sense for how close they were and just how different it was a year ago and how it works. It works. And so I think the buy-in was absolutely there. And then, so it's so easy to say, and it's so cliche to say, I think day to day, one day at a time, 1% better every day. But I truly think that this group of upperclassmen that really saw it come to fruition and have felt the difference, have really bought into that. And I think they truly do take it one day at a time. And even when I ask them about something in the future, they won't talk about that. And hey, we got to just focus on tomorrow. And it's not even just, so some of those guys, when he's saying, not running out there for a certain rep, I think they're doing the extra work even outside of practice. They're diving into the film. They're taking care of their bodies. And, one of the players I talked to, I can't even remember which one it was, but Coach Rhule challenged them, hey, we've built this beautiful facility for you that's got everything you need to be able to get yourself where you need to be, your body right, and to be able to take care of it. Now use it, utilize it. You have to take advantage of it. And I think they're absolutely doing that. There are times that we're sitting there waiting for interviews because they want to make sure that they're taking advantage of everything they need to do and doing what they need to do, whether it's in the cold tubs or the hot tubs or the, whatever it might be. And so I think it's every aspect of it. It's so much more than just what they do in the practice time. It's from sunup to sundown. What are they doing to take advantage of the day-to-day process? And I think a lot of those, like he said, you can just tell by the way they talk about it, those guys have bought into that.
To your point, and I didn't have this clip cut by the guys, he said he was walking off the practice field yesterday and he was walking with MJ Sherman, and he said, now MJ, UTEP does this, and he said MJ interrupted him and says, yep, this guy does this guy does that, and Coach Rhule's like, wow, he's already done the film study on UTEP and knows what they do in some of their schemes. And so that's a veteran player in MJ Sherman already knowing I got to prepare to do these type of things. So there's just a lot to like about the way this team has kind of been put together for this upcoming year. And Buschini, I love that story. 3 years he's had, for past 2 years, he's worn 18. He knew that somebody needed to come off that number because you can't have one on offense, one on defense, and one on special teams. And he goes, I'll do it. Let those guys keep those numbers. I think that's just awesome. Love that stuff.
Well, and it's great, too, that Nayor was the one that was said, I'll wear 99.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that it's Buschini that's changed his number. I mean, just the fact that any of them, and that goes back to what I think I've said about Malachi and Dylan. I really think ultimately either of them would come off that number if the team needed them to, So, I mean, I think that's what you like about this group is I do think it is actually, and, again, it's all got to pay off on Saturdays. We all know that. But I do think it's all the things that you want to have in a group, that buy-in, the brotherhood, the whatever I got to do. I really don't care. I just want to help this team win, and I don't care what number I'm in. Just whatever you need me to do. There's a lot of those guys on this team, and a lot of those leaders are that way, which trickles down. And so it just continues to build in and feed into that culture that has worked so well with Coach Rhule everywhere he's been.
Malachi is going to move to number 11. Dylan will have 15 for the upcoming season. Speaking of Dylan, and we talked about this with Coach on his radio show a couple of nights ago, but this was the first chance the media had to ask some of these questions. They did a deeper dive into what really won the job for Dylan. Here is the coach.
I felt all along like Dylan could be the starter game one. The problem was I also felt like so could Heinrich. I also felt like so could Danny. And Danny had a really, really, really strong week and a really strong scrimmage too. Why did he win the job? Why did Dylan win the job? I think Dylan puts all the pieces in play, and that doesn't mean the other guys don't. But I think Dylan has elite arm strength. He understands all the run game checks. He understands the entire RPO game. He understands the situational football. And I think he's really cleaned up his footwork in the pocket, which was one of the big things. I know sometimes people want us to name a starter because it's the most convenient thing, but at the end of the day, I mean, we want to be a program where you earn things. And so while you might be ahead of people, until you show me you can do this, you're not the starter. And that challenges people to go do this. And so I think one of the biggest things for Dylan has been, and it's really a lot about young quarterbacks now, is Dylan can drop back and throw it behind his back and probably hit you. He can throw it underhanded. But we don't want to do that unless we have to. And so often now these guys are going out and to be evaluated at whatever thing, and they're making all these off-platform throws. But I showed Dylan about 60 reps of Tom Brady, and he's on platform. And so Dylan's worked so hard at his pocket presence, and once he to me cleared that hurdle, I saw how close the other guys were coming, and I feel like he's the starter. But Danny's going to keep working, and Heinrich's going to keep working, and and really honestly, I'll tell you what, if Jalen goes in the game, I feel like Jalen can move the team. So we have 4 guys I feel really confident in to lead the team.
I think Dylan embraced that. He wants to hear every little thing that, what do I need to do to be the best I can be? I don't think he by any means, there are some of those elite quarterbacks or even elite players that don't want to hear that. But I think he's one that embraces it. Also, I don't know who will be running the scout team offense if it is Danny. I cannot wait to see Danny's growth going up against the defense, continuing to go up against some of the, because you hear how often do we hear about some of those freshmen when they're on scout team, how much they grow going up against the #1 offense or the #1 defense week in and week out or day in and day out. And so if Danny's that guy that they call on to be the scout team quarterback, I think he's going to continue to grow leaps and bounds facing that defense every day.
Yeah. We've had this question, and Coach got it today. Do you try to do something with Heinrich? He's such a physical specimen, one of the better athletes on this team. Because he's not the starter, do you find a package for him to run during the games? Here was the coach.
Yeah, I think that remains to be seen. I probably don't want to give too much out to everybody, but I think in fairness to Heinrich, I just have so much respect for him as a competitor. That he can go out and do anything. Look at Coach Frost, right? Coach Frost was one of the great quarterbacks in college football history, and then goes on and plays safety in the National Football League. And that Heinrich reminds me so much of that. Heinrich to me could be a great safety. He could probably be a great linebacker. He'd be a great tailback, wide out, tight end. And so we have the opportunity to use him, when needed. At the same time, I also don't want to lose my #2 quarterback because, he ran a dive, so there's a fine line there. But we're not going to play this year out of fear. We're not going to play like, what if this goes wrong? I know sometimes that's the way people think. That's the way sometimes I think. But we've made a decision this year that we're going to attack. We're going to go all in on this team and attack with everything we have. And Heinrich's a big part of that, so we're going to use him.
I love that. We were talking about that the other night. Do you play it safe and avoid any injury with him being your backup, or do you go for it? And I think Heinrich will be the first to tell you, put me in any kind of situation, I don't care. Give me the ball. Whatever I need to do, I'll do it. And I think this staff has been pretty clear about we're going to utilize the talent, and a lot of times the backup quarterback might not see the field on a certain game, but if he's a guy that can help you in another way, get him out there. And I think Heinrich will be the first to tell you, get me out there. So I love that. I love hearing that they're going to utilize him in any way they can.
Well, we're going to end with this. Camp is really over. It's now into game week prep, and for UTEP and on to the season we go. And so Coach got a question late in the presser today. What were you most pleased with the camp for the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, there was never a practice that I was disappointed in. The young guy practice this week, I could maybe say that for some guys, but I watch the tape, there were other guys. But there was never a practice where I was like, man, we just don't get it. It's actually quite the opposite. We did 9-on-7 on Tuesday, and on Wednesday I came out and there was no 9-on-7 in it. And as I walked out, I looked at Donnie. He's like, did you watch the 9-on-7? I was like, yeah. I said, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen us play like that in a while. Now, all that's just words if we don't play that way next Saturday. Let me say that. And I'm the first person that's like that. Practice doesn't mean you're going to win a game. Practice just gives you an opportunity to compete to win the game. And so you have to play well on game day. But there's just never been like a lull in terms of that. And then we've had very few distractions. We've had very few issues. We've had a couple, which you're going to have on a team, but we've had very few distractions. And for by and large, other than Teddy's injury and Roger's injury, we've come out of things pretty healthy.
That's great news. I believe it when he says that, Greg. I really do, because he's been the one. He's been one that will challenge the team a lot of times, through certain players throughout his press conferences and whatever that might be. And I think even the clip that went viral about him saying, hey, we got to get it together. This is why we haven't won in the past, because we're not doing what we do in front of people, what we do when we're practicing. And then I think they corrected it after that, and so he can say I wasn't completely disappointed in that practice, but I don't think he'd say that if it wasn't true. I really don't, because I think he would be the first one to stand up there and say, yeah, and challenge and use that opportunity to challenge the guys.
We always talk about coaches don't like distractions, and he's right. There just has not been, and there's probably been some stuff that's happened in the locker room that we're not privy to, but it's nothing that's gotten major headlines. It's nothing like what we talked about in the last segment with Colorado having a spat with a writer in the Denver Post. Those are distractions. Those are things that get you off message. Those are things that end up costing you in some way, shape, or form. There's been nothing like that, and he's right on the injury front. He could have thrown Javen in there as well as another guy that went down, but that's not bad. You've done a pretty good job getting through camp healthy, and camp is the one time that you got to be physical in camp, because you got to learn how to tackle and all those things, but you also are susceptible to injuries, and they, for the most part, have avoided that. So hey, this is a certain phase, Jess. The last 3 weeks is a phase of the year. This phase gets pretty high grades, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think maybe to your point about Javen, right, they don't know for sure that it's season ending, it's career ending.
Right.
They don't know what that is, that they're hoping that he'll be back. So maybe, that's why. But, the two that completely, that are, hey, we're not going to be able to have them this season. I don't know if they know that yet about Javen, but yeah, I mean, that's it. And they're not going to go soft. They're going to, like you said, there are a lot of programs that don't want to do that because they don't want to get hurt. So that's why they're not as good at tackling. But we know that that's a priority for Tony White and this defensive staff, and so they're going to do that. And so the fact that they've been able to do what they needed to do and then make it through here with, just minor, the two injuries that, three, I guess, that's pretty solid in what it could be.
Folks, Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with a home team at Woodhouse as the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. All right, that's our practice report. Thoughts? 402-413-2400. We'll open up the phone lines. Text lines open for you as well. We're back with more of the show next.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human pawns, loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. You're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you can use that money towards going to see your favorite team in the playoffs. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can go see your favorite team in the playoffs. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but we cannot guarantee that your favorite team will make the playoffs or even finish with a winning record. They could easily lose more than half their games and finish in the cellar because they stink badly and haven't made the playoffs in years. Savings? Very possible. Playoffs? Highly doubtful. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates. Not available in all states. We cannot be held liable for your favorite team's terrible and frankly embarrassing performances now or ever.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corcoran Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Exarban Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's time again for some Nebraska Farm Facts. For Nebraska soybean farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices. And they have significant sustainability goals by 2025. 10% more energy efficiency, 10% less land, and 25% less soil erosion. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Folks, want to invite you to support childhood brain cancer research by donating to the Team Jack Foundation. Your contribution funds life-saving research for new treatments and offers hope to children and families. Donate today at teamjackfoundation.org. Well, week 0 of college football is tomorrow. There's a couple of games. The biggest one's the one from Dublin, Ireland, that we played in a couple of years ago. It's Florida State, Georgia Tech, 11 o'clock Central. I was watching some ESPN today, and they had some of their shows from over there. Brought back a lot of good memories. I really enjoyed that trip, Jess, other than the outcome of the game.
Yes, it was great. I was going to ask you, were they any sign of buskers?
Did not see that. That's where we did our show, but no, they were not at Buskers. They were in that general area, I could tell, but they weren't in Buskers.
That's disappointing. It was fun, and it was just so electric. Just Husker fans traveled, and it just was so much fun all throughout, and leading up to the game, and even to halftime, and then it was downhill for the after that.
Yeah.
But and it was not a fun flight back either. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was a long flight because everybody was dejected because of the loss. Sam in Omaha wanted to know, did either of us golf in Ireland? No, I didn't. I don't think you did either, did you?
No, I didn't get a chance to either time I went. I went on the PR trip before we were supposed to, but then it got moved and then shortened, and then, it wasn't part of the first trip. And then we didn't have time. We were so busy, that whole week because we were doing Sports Nightly every day. We did have a couple of them in our crew that went and said it was great, but I did not get to go. That is one thing I'd like to do if I went back.
There was a number of people in the travel party that did go golf while we were over there, but we got to town, checked into our hotel, and then immediately went out on this picnic table and did Sports Nightly for that night. And then we were at Buskers doing the next couple of night shows. So we were. And then we had the pep rally in the city park that was going on one day. So it was, we kept kind of moving pretty good.
Yeah, we had
that trip.
Lots of social media.
It was a business trip.
Yeah, it was. And all the social media stuff that we had to do, it was pretty nonstop for both of us from start to finish. But it was fun. It was a fun business trip, but it was definitely a business trip.
And I went to practice once or twice while we were over there, but it's been fun, and I've got a good connection to the Florida State's program, and they're over there now. Next year, it's K-State, Iowa State are going to go to Dublin to play that game. In fact, Coach Rhule today, Jess, got asked about, would you be interested in playing a game on foreign soils? He said, oh, absolutely. He goes, I would love that opportunity. He goes, I like neutral site games. He goes, I like to, because he says, I know how Husker Nation travels. Neutral site games, he goes, will turn into a home game for us because of the way our fans travel. And that was certainly the case in Dublin. There was way more Husker fans than Northwestern fans. And so, yeah, he's open to that possibility. Maybe that'll happen at some point in time for Husker football moving down the road.
Yeah, and I think it could be, it just so happened that particular game did not go the way we all hoped it would. But, I think the right team and the right setup could absolutely still be a good opportunity. And as he mentioned, I remember that was Casey Thompson's first game as a Husker, and he told me after the game, he's like, that felt like a home game. So, it was very, very loud. And so, it is. You want to play a neutral site game, we know that more than likely it's going to be actually a home game for Nebraska.
Yeah. Crypto King in the chat room wants to know who's the starting running back. Well, the depth chart's not out yet. My guess would say it's going to be Emmett. I mean, if I had to kind of place something down right now, I think Emmett probably gets the call for the first carry next week. What do you think? Yeah, I think that's a safe bet. I think Emmett, we've heard enough about him throughout camp, and he, did what he's supposed to do throughout the preseason, and he just grew so much. I mean, it was just how much he grew from when he really got thrown into the fire till the end of the season, and how much he learned. And so I think it's going to be him, but it won't be only him. I think we're going to see a number of running backs in the first game, but I do think the first handoff will go to Emmett. I'm with you. Yeah. Vern in Omaha said, you guys are talking about Ireland. What's your favorite Big Ten road trip and why? That depends. Is it on the stadium? Is it on our facilities? Is it on our booth? Is it about the city? Is it about the restaurants? Minneapolis is near the top for me because it has a lot of those. It's a great stadium. The Minneapolis has wonderful places to go to eat. It's an easy trip for us. It's a short flight. So Minneapolis for the Big Ten would be high for me. I love going to the shoe in Columbus. I love the environment there. That would be up there for me as well. Those would probably be 1 and 2 for me. How about you? And you haven't been to all of them yet, but what about you? I did go to Ohio State when I was at Oklahoma, and it's a fun atmosphere. You know what? I think because of how the game went and how much joy it was, I didn't mind the Iowa trip because it just ended up being a pretty fun atmosphere to be a Nebraska fan, because they came out and dominated the first half and then they ended up closing it out. Just the way that they celebrated, and they weren't that mean to me on the sideline, and the wave and all of that. So I didn't mind Iowa. I'm trying to think. Minneapolis, yeah, that was okay for me. I know Searles would have that at the top of his list. So we'll see if the other ones will top the list moving forward. USC's, I don't think UCLA will, just because I don't know. Maybe we'll see, but maybe some of the other ones will top the list moving forward in the next few years. Well, and I do love Husky Stadium for Washington. That is a great place. We were out there 10, 12 years ago. It's a beautiful setting. That is really high up. It's a great city. It's just a long flight. It's a long ways to get out to Seattle. So it just depends again what do you dive it into? Is the travel easy? Is our booth good? That's a selfish thing, I know, on our part, but we like to have a decent working condition, and that's why Minneapolis, that stadium's fairly new, and it's just really clean, and the booth's huge, and that's why. And we don't go there for a while. We don't play the Gophers this year. It's kind of odd for that. But Vern, thanks for the question. Keep those coming, folks. 402-413-2400. Need to slip in our final break of the hour. We're back to wrap up hour one next.
It's go time in the Midwest. The Labor Day sales event is on now. Time to get 0% financing or $6,000 cash back on a new 2024 F-150. Don't wait. Get our best deals on our best selection of Ford trucks only through September 3rd. These deals won't last forever, so that means it's go time. Go to the Labor Day sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers today. It all ends September 3rd. Now get 0% financing for 36 months for up to $6,000 cash back on a 2024 F-150. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Husker fans, the 2024 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support in Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $170. This plan includes tickets to UTEP or Northern Iowa, plus Illinois or Rutgers, and either UCLA or Wisconsin. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
It's go time in the Midwest. The Labor Day sales event is on now. Time to get 0% financing or $6,000 cash back on a new 2024 F-150. Don't wait. Get our best deals on our best selection of Ford trucks only through September 3rd. These deals won't last forever, so that means it's go time. Go to the Labor Day sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers today. It all ends September 3rd. Now get 0% financing for 36 months for up to $6,000 cash back on a 2024 F-150. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Just a couple of minutes left in hour one. I saw a little longer clip of the E60 doc that's going to come out Sunday afternoon on ESPN about there's no place like Nebraska for volleyball. You know who's going to be a rock star next week, and we may not even be able to touch him anymore, is John Baylor. I think he's going to be all over this documentary. A ton of JB calls in the little clip that I saw earlier today. So we may have to get in line just to say hi to John Baylor moving forward.
You know, he's already been a star, but I feel like his stars have grown even brighter because of the last year. How many programs, you know, we were talking about just the overall media coverage of a program last night, and it got me to thinking, how many volleyball programs actually put their matches on the radio? How many are there across the country? Do you know?
Yeah, there's probably maybe a few more than you think. Quite a few of the Big Tens do. It's probably less than 50-50 in the Big 12, though, right? Probably and SEC, I don't know that any of them do it. So you're right. It's kind of a rare breed here at Nebraska.
I mean, because I know at Oklahoma, it was not, they don't do that. They put a few select matches on when I was there, but I don't think they do that anymore. And so, yeah, I just wasn't sure how many. I get in the Big Ten, but that's what only, well, before it was fewer teams. Now there's 18. Right. I don't know how many of the 18 do, but even 18 out of how many that play volleyball in the country, can't be that many. So just again, I think that again just speaks to people that care and are invested, and the fact that doing things first and groundbreaking and has led to a lot of the, you know, the exposure for Nebraska volleyball, because there was a time that as one of the few places that you could find any coverage, you know, until you started seeing the Big Ten really investing in volleyball. So and I know Nebraska Public Television has done a great job, but you know, you think back before women's sports really started blowing up, it was a lot of it was on the radio. So kudos to Huskers Radio.
Yeah, and you know, it's one of our harder products to find inventory. We're always looking for more ways to get more commercial time inside of our volleyball broadcast. All right, fast first hour. When we come back, we're going to play you a snippet of The Place that dropped last night. It's the Husker social media's documentary about NIL is the topic this month. We'll have that for you. And we'll hear from Turner Corcoran, offensive lineman for the Cornhuskers. All of that coming up in hour two. Come on back. Have some more fun with us.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TL Irrigation are like no other.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian automotive vehicles in operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Good evening, I'm Henry Goodwin, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. In Husker baseball news, the team announced its upcoming fall schedule with a home exhibition game against Wichita State on September 21st, and the Red-White Series, which is set for October 11th, 12th, and the 14th through the 16th. Former Husker pitcher Cade Ovich is on the mound tonight for the Baltimore Orioles against the Houston Astros. So far, he's allowed 4 runs through 3 innings. The Astros lead 4-2. Earlier today, Husker football coach Matt Rhule spoke to the media ahead of the upcoming football season. Coach was asked about the backup quarterbacks, and this is what the coach had to say.
Yeah, but Danny's battling for it. You know, we wouldn't waste Danny's year in a mop-up situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wouldn't put Danny in at the end of the game. You know, Danny gets 4 games. So if all of a sudden we have a couple injuries and he's the starting quarterback, we're going to go win with Danny Kaelin. That make no mistake about it. We're going to go win with Daniel. But we're not going to put him in to hand the ball off for no reason, right, and burn a game. So he's preparing. He brings a lot to the table in terms of throwing the ball. Obviously, Heinrich's a dual threat guy, so Danny still gets reps with the twos out there. They kind of, they both get reps. But if we went in the game tomorrow, next Saturday, if something were to happen, Heinrich could go in the game.
Tomorrow is fan day for Husker football. From 11 a.m. to 12:30 at the Hawks Championship Center, you have a chance to meet the players, get autographs, and much more. Further details can be found at huskers.com. Tomorrow is also fan day for Husker volleyball. From 9 to 11 a.m. at the Devaney Center, you can meet and get autographs from your favorite Husker volleyball player. And later that night at 6, you won't want to miss the annual Red-White Scrimmage. More details about fan day and the Red-White Scrimmage can be found on huskers.com. Can't make it to the Red-White Scrimmage? Listen here on the Huskers Radio Network. Pre-game coverage with John Baylor and Lauren Cook-West starts at 5. Our sports sticker is sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Now, get ready for Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Back to throw, a play action look. Heinrich going to take a shot downfield. Has a man wide open. Malachi Coleman makes the catch. Touchdown, Nebraska. Back to throw. Steps, throws downfield, taking a deep shot down the field. And the ball's intercepted. Picked off by Tommy Hill. Has an INT. He's at the 15 to the 20. Breaks a tackle. Skirts to the outside. 25. Makes another man miss. Slides his way to the 28-yard line. Tommy Hill's second pick in as many weeks.
Shot blocked back and covered. Above the net, shot, Merritt Beeson, kill! Wow! Couple of Huskers had to punch it off the net, and Beeson swings away. They love it in Lincoln. It's 29-10.
Heinrich going to step back. Little G belly action. As a man wide open, it's Jalen Lloyd. The throw, he makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Sullivan gets the chest-high snap. Stepping up, being pressured, gets hit, and goes down. Huskers get their first sack of the game. Northwestern has given up the most sacks of any team in the conference. The Huskers get one there from Nash.
Here come the Razorbacks, bumping over the left. Gillen, she's stopped. Rick Allen, block number 11 for the team 16. They're body bumping in Lincoln.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
And we're back, final hour of the night, final hour of the week, Sports Nightly, and then it is in game week as we go to Monday's show. Looking forward to that. By the way, Monday, it's a nice little reminder for me, Troy Dannon's first AD show of the school year will be Monday night, hour number 1, so we look forward to having the Husker Athletic Director here in studio, so get your comments, questions ready for Monday night. So we'll have Troy Monday, football show Wednesday. It'll be Glenn Thomas, quarterback's coach, will be our coach next Wednesday night, and then John Cook show on Thursday night next week. And we're bumped Tuesday and Friday next week because of volleyball matches. Jess, you sent me this during the break that it's the talent show is on next door to where you're sitting there in our studios. Matt Rhule is expected to be getting grilled a little bit tonight. He says how far they take it may determine how long their practice is tomorrow.
Who would you project to be an early favorite to be one of the standouts of the freshman talent show?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know those kids that well yet. I'd have to think about who's maybe got a little bit more gumption to them than other guys. I can't see a guy like Carter Nelson being that flamboyant, or Caleb Benning. Caleb's kind of quiet. I don't think he would do much, but who do you think?
Apparently, Danny Kaling can sing a little bit.
Wow.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's the rumor on the streets.
Okay.
So.
I just want to know who's got, enough guts to kind of take on the coach a little bit. I think he's expecting to be ribbed a little bit during the talent show tonight.
Oh, yeah. So that reminds me, it was a year ago that we were having the HAP, the Partners event that I missed a few nights ago, and to MC, and Coach Rhule was scheduled to speak, and he was late, and he said I had to wait because there are some guys that were basically being me in the talent show, so I had to wait to see how that went down. And so, I don't know. We will see. We'll see who dares to take that on this year.
That's fun. All right, coming up here in a few minutes, we're going to hear from Turner Corcoran, who's now the left tackle again for the Corn Huskers after the unfortunate injury to Teddy Prohaska. Later on in the hour, we'll have our winners and losers for the week as well. But last night, the Husker social media team dropped another edition of their documentary, The Place. This one focuses on NIL, and you're going to hear the following voices in this episode. Ross Dellinger, who writes for Yahoo Sports and has really become a bit of an expert in the NIL space. He's interviewed multiple schools about their NIL operations and those type of things. Lexi Rodriguez will make an appearance in this clip we're going to play for you. Obviously, Husker Athletic Director Troy Dannon, you'll hear his voice. Jonathan Bateman, who is the general manager for Husker Athletics, in charge of NIL. And then the Peebs, Sean and Tom Pete from Sandhills Publishing. They have kind of foot the bill for $18.90, and they've really gotten involved in that to be the arm for Husker Athletics there. So those will be the voices that you hear in the latest episode of The Place.
We're in the middle of not an evolution, but really a revolution. We went decades by holding on to a model that as revenues grew and the enterprise changed, the one area that didn't really change was how we looked at our athletes.
Covering this issue the last few months has been like putting together a puzzle while you've had a few drinks and you're trying to juggle knives.
I don't think anyone has a crystal ball, so what's going to happen? As I mentioned earlier, you got to be agile and be able to adapt. But with that being said, from Troy on up through the rest of the leadership in the university and the state and everything else, I think everyone is on the same page, and whatever needs to happen is going to happen.
Nebraska is the reason that a lot of the team has such a big following, and the fans and the volleyball community are just so passionate about Husker volleyball, Husker sports, and it's been a huge reason why we've been able to kind of have the opportunities that we have.
Being at a place like Nebraska, we have a lot of great things. We've been the first in a lot of areas. NIL is the same and is going to be the same, whether it's rev sharing or whatever this new model takes.
The one thing that history will tell you is that those who do not embrace change quickly fall backwards in college athletics. Whether it's change in the style of offense, the style of defense, whether it's change in the way we coach, change in the way we recruit, or now change in the model of compensation. The name of the game in competing in college athletics has changed. And whether we like the role of collectives or not, or the pay-for-play model that exists because of the collectives, it is here, and it is here to stay.
Without getting too detailed, right, on how an athletic department's finances work, is they are nonprofits, basically. And so they have to spend the money that comes in. And as the money grew with football, specifically through TV contracts, athletic departments became more and more cash flow, had more and more cash flow coming in. And they had to spend that. And they pumped it back in to the athletic departments, a lot of it in women's sports, some of it in salaries, facilities, right? Because they could not, according to the NCAA rule, pay players. And so they had to keep pumping this money back through. And what it led to was negative attention from the courts and from politicians who saw that, who saw $10 million coaching salaries and new gaudy facilities and said, wait a second, shouldn't some of this money go to athletes?
I think what everybody did not anticipate at the time was collectives, and how NIL, and maybe this is what everyone feared, how NIL would evolve into more of a pay-for-play model than really the true value of monetizing your worth or your value, like everyone in the country has. That's the great part of being in America, right? We all have a chance to monetize our value. But this became more than that.
A major revenue sharing breakthrough in college athletics.
And I tend to believe in 5 years we'll look at NIL like we look at cost of attendance, and it won't even be a factor like it with all the hand-wringing we have today. And eventually it'll be that way with revenue sharing as well. It'll be part of the norm. But higher education is not like change as an enterprise, and this is the biggest change that really it has happened in any of our lifetimes around college athletics.
Ever since I was a freshman, just because we didn't know how it was going to pan out, we kind of had like team rules for it. Just initially, I think it was just no NIL discussion once we walk into Bob Devaney. And I feel like especially for that first year, like it was good to have that kind of like that line.
If you were to talk to athletic administrators who were at the top of the sport 10, 20 years ago, now they would probably tell you, we wish we would have loosened our rules early on. And that way we could have controlled how this happens instead of letting it be controlled by the courts.
It is a new day in college athletics, Dan. The schools can actually themselves pay athletes.
Rewind the clocks back to 2021. The policy coming from the NCAA related to institutional involvement was, none. I think most institutions and schools and staff members found out pretty quick that's just not feasible. If we really want to do a service to our athletes, we are with them step by step in all that we do, right? Nutrition, strength, coaching, academics, social media, but we can't be with them every step of the way and then not be with them for NIL.
Yeah, I've known Troy for a while. He's been pretty deeply ingrained in the NCAA legislative process and all of this NIL stuff. I think he was a member of the NCAA Transformation Committee a couple years ago that handled a lot of these things, a lot of these changes. And he's one of the athletic directors out there who certainly gets it, I like to say. He understands where college athletics has been, where it is now, and where it will go. And so I think in his opening press conference at Nebraska, he was very clear of what's coming.
Success now is about innovation in NIL. If you think the last 5 years in college athletics have been wild, the next 5 years are going to put it to shame. I can promise you this, Nebraska will lead. We will not follow, we will lead.
With Troy, what you see is what you get.
He's been very vocal about the support for 1890, and Troy is constantly trying to find ways to better fundraise and get the donor base and fan base more engaged with NIL, and that's great to see.
You're going to see me wearing 1890 stuff as much as I wear Nebraska stuff because it's about this. Recruitment and retention.
NIL is the key differentiator right now in recruiting and retaining talent. Him being here, wanting to be all in on NIL, working with 1890, our collective, has been great, but it also helps to have that one consistent message to our fans, right? About, hey, when we partner with someone, that means they're part of us, they're part of Husker Nation, and that's an important message to our fans as well.
He understands the culture, and I think that's so important, coming in here and really understanding the culture, and he does.
Nebraska became one of the greatest brands in college sports for one reason, because we won. Because in '69, Devaney hired a strength coach when nobody knew strength coaches were ever going to be important. It's because we took initiatives with our student athletes time and time again. But today, it's more than strength, it's more than nutrition, it's more than even the degree. Success is about our collective.
Collectives really sprouted up, summer 2021, and it was a result of the NCAA changing the interim policy related to NIL. And the best way I think to describe collectives is there's a lot of fans or donors or individuals who support programs, and they want to support NIL because they want to give to the athletes, but they might not have anything to do for it, right? Because that's part of NIL. There has to be a quid pro quo. 1890 and similar collectives, they have stepped in to be the hub of a place where all fans of a school can get together, donate money, and then 1890 helps find activations and different activities for the athletes to earn that money.
I said when I got here, you're either trying to help us win or you're not. And if you're trying to help us win, I'm getting on your bus and you get on mine, and the collective is here to help us win. So I'm going to be as good a partner as I can possibly be to anybody and everybody that's helping put us in a position to win.
We started this because we felt that it was going to be an important component to athletics by retaining and also recruiting the athletes that our coaches need.
I think 1890 does a lot for all Husker sports, but I think they do really good with bringing in the community, and a lot of athletes across the country involved with NIL. You don't see a lot of that nonprofit work or just giving back to children. And so I think it's nice for us as athletes to have that experience in the community and with nonprofits and with local stuff like that, just because that's something special about Nebraska.
And again, that is a portion of the Place episode, the latest Place episode that's out now. You can watch that full episode on our Huskers YouTube channel. Greg, to that point that Lexi was making there at the end of that clip, when I did the event the other night with the HAP partners, and Juwan Gary was up there, and a lot of the questions, we had some of the people that if they wanted to submit questions for the student athletes, you could submit those. And there were several that was asking about the NIL opportunities and how that's changed and how that's affected you guys and the locker room and all of that. And he said, for me, and a lot of the athletes echoed this, the three that were up there, but he said, for me, what's been great about it is being able to connect to the community. And it's allowed me some opportunities to get to know some really great folks that, yes, a lot of it is about the money-making aspect of it. And he said, I send most of that back home to my family to be able to help them out. But he said, what I've loved the most about it is that it's really connected me and really made me feel like this is more of a home, because it's connected me and helped me form some deep relationships out in the community. And so that's what I think we sometimes forget, because it's so much about the money aspect of it, that there are some opportunities to allow these student athletes to connect with people they might not have otherwise connected with, or form some relationships that they might not have otherwise had the opportunity to, that they really do appreciate more so than the opportunity to get that money. And so I think that's what's cool about this whole thing, and just maybe understanding a different perspective of it, that we sometimes maybe don't realize, that they really do appreciate that part of it.
It's a really good documentary, and again, we gave you about half of it right there. Bridges Trust, by the way, is our sponsor of the Place. And Troy has taken a much different tact toward all of this than his predecessor here in Nebraska. And it was from his opening press conference, as it was documented in that piece that we just played for you, that he's like, if you don't embrace this, you're going to get left behind.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of fans of college sports, and I'm probably in this batch too, I'm uncomfortable with the money that's being thrown around right now, but that's the way it is. And if you want to compete and operate, you better jump on board or you're going to get left behind.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And I think that's where, yes, there's a lot of money coming in from the TV revenue, and that's a big part of it, but that's not the only part of it. And you want to talk about being able to compete in other sports. And that's where I think 1890 is going to have a huge role as well. I mean, look at some of the things they were able to do with the softball program. And I know that's going to continue to be a big part of the other sports as well. Just being able to, it's just where we're at in college sports. And so, you know, it's not just about the money that's coming in from the TV contracts. And so that's where Troy has been absolutely, I'm going to embrace, this is our partner 1890, and they're going to help us be the best that we can be and bring in what we need to bring in to be able to have the kind of revenue that we need to bring in the kind of athletes to be able to compete at the highest level. And so, yeah, I think that's important that you have an AD that's, hey, we got to embrace this or we're going to get left behind. So that's where we're at. And I think they're going about it the right way. And I also, again, have seen and been able to talk to a lot of these student athletes and get to know them on a different level. And it's just, look, it's part of it, but also I think they have done a really good job about educating and, you know, within the individual locker rooms too, just making sure that they've got the good head on the shoulders, that it doesn't become a problem within the locker room too, that it's, I mean, look at the volleyball team. I think every single player has an NIL deal, at least one, and most of them have multiple, you know, just to be able to make sure that it doesn't become an issue and it doesn't infiltrate the locker room in a negative way.
Yeah. Again, thanks to Bridges Trust. They're the sponsor of the Place episodes, and that's a good one. Go watch it if you've not seen the whole thing to this point in time. All right, 402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text. When we come back, we'll hear from Turner Corcoran, the Huskers left tackle. That's next.
At Woodhouse Chevy, we believe in the power of performance. Whether it's an adventure with the family or tackling the toughest jobs, Woodhouse Chevy has you covered. Woodhouse Chevy offers many models to choose from and amazing features like wireless Apple CarPlay, lane keep assist with lane departure warning, front pedestrian braking, and so much more. Woodhouse Chevy brings you 2 convenient locations in Omaha and Missouri Valley. Together, let's drive with Woodhouse Chevy.
O'Reilly. Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to protect against wear and deposits. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99 in-store only. Limit supply. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian automotive vehicles and operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker football spring game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For
for insurance that fits just right. Find a shelter agent near you.
See shelter agent Dory Milberger or Darren Frazier in Omaha, or agent Terry Dingwell in Fremont.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse, the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you on a Friday night. The pride of all Nebraska, the Cornhusker Marching Band, is performing right now inside the stadium. Seen a couple of pictures on social media. I would say close to 10,000 folks there watching the band perform tonight. I know they get a huge kick out of that. It got canceled a couple years ago because of a thunderstorm that came through about this time, but beautiful night to be out there tonight, and so I'm sure they're wowing the folks that have made their way to Memorial Stadium for that this evening.
Greg, I was actually walking out and I heard the "Go Big Red." It drew me down there, so I went down there.
Yeah.
It's a great crowd, a beautiful night, as you mentioned. So yeah, it's cool to see, and again, just continuing to add to my feeling that, hey, we are now, I can now feel it. I can now feel that it is game week because they are out there doing all the songs you hear that are just repeating in your mind on a game day.
It's another sign that we are right there on the cusp of another school year and obviously another start to a college football season. Well, Turner Corcoran's right back in there as that starting left tackle. Got hurt late last year, missed the end of the season, had some off-season surgery. The Huskers were careful with him during spring ball, and now with the injury to Teddy Prohaska, he will be the starting left tackle next week against the Miners of UTEP. Jessica, earlier this week, had a chance to catch up with Turner.
Here with Turner Corcoran. Well, first of all, how did it feel to be back out there on the field with the guys?
Yeah, it felt great. Just having my season taken away from me, how it did, it sucked. But the dudes in my corner, the dudes in the room on the offense, on the defense, they were by my side every step of the way. And Coach Hobbs, Coach Mitch, they did a really good job taking care of us when we did do our rehabs and stuff like that. Our medical team, they did a really good job too.
And you were by the sides of your guys, too. So what did you learn throughout that process? I mean, you were coaching up guys in the huddles. Is there something that you took away from that time that you were not playing?
Yeah, just try and give as much information to anybody that I possibly can. I played a little guard, played mainly tackle. So, whenever I'm talking to Teddy, we're just bouncing ideas off each other's heads. How we block certain people or certain looks, stuff like that, just certain pass rushes. And then the young guys at guards, I'm just trying to help them with their progression and their technique and everything like that too.
You, Ethan, were as involved as you ever were last year when you got hurt. This year it's Teddy. We're hearing that he's as a part as he can be. What does that say about this team, especially the offensive line unit, that it doesn't matter if we're hurt, we want to be there, we want to be a part?
Yeah, Teddy's such a warrior. We love him around here. He's like a brother to me. Like I just said, we're bouncing ideas off each other's heads every single day. He's always there for me. Whenever we're in meetings or something, we got Grant Seagren and Gunnar Gatula sitting right behind us during meetings. So if something happens in practice and we're watching the film in meetings, we'll turn around and talk to him. And, he's done that before he was hurt. He's just that good of a dude that he doesn't care the circumstances. He just wants his guys to get better.
That being said, you've played a lot of ball. The guys behind you, the depth as you build that tackle spot, how do you feel like those guys are coming along?
They're doing really well. Every single day they come out to work. It doesn't matter, rain, snow, shine, whatever. They're wanting to work. They've done every single thing that coach has asked of them since they've gotten here. They're very disciplined guys, and I expect the world of them when they're able to step up.
I was going to say, you feel confident if their numbers get called to be able to fill the role?
Absolutely. Those guys are special dudes. They're smart guys too. You know, they're not just big dumb football players. You know how people might imagine us, but they're really special guys, and you know I think they can play some football here.
How does it feel being alongside a lot of guys that you played with and have been in the fire with?
Yeah, no, it feels good to get back out there with those dudes just because, you know, Bryce is coming off of 40-something starts. You know, Ben's got a ton. Mike has got a bunch. Just started to get the taste of it last year, and, you know, I thought he played really well. So I'm excited to play next to him. You know, we've done a pretty good job communicating so far through camp, and I'm excited to play with that guy.
How do you feel about where the offense is at and how you guys have progressed up until this point throughout fall camp?
Yeah, you know, I think that we need to focus on some discipline, but, you know, every single step of the way, we're going to be a good group that's going to fight for each other. You know, we've gone through a lot of stuff since I've been here and then also since Coach Rhule's been here. We just come to work every single day, and yeah.
For you personally, what are some of your goals that you want to, build on the season that you had last year before you got hurt? Just what are some of the things that you're focusing on your game?
The best thing for us right now is just winning, and that's what I want to do. I want to leave here a winner, and you know that's something that everybody can control. Is just coming in with an winning attitude every single day.
Great stuff. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I love that last one. It just, for him, it's not even about me personally. I just want to win. I just want to do what I can do to help this team win. And I think a lot of those older guys, same sentiment. What do we got to do to win and continue to change this trajectory of this program?
And I know Coach Rhule really wants to win for those 5th and 6th year guys that have been a part of this program, haven't been to a bowl game. They have put so much work, time, and effort into being, and they're good football players, but we just have not been able to get out of our own way. Hopefully that changes starting next week with UTEP. That 2:30 kick against the Miners. Always good to hear from Turner there. Sports Nightly is brought to you by Choices Treatment Center. If you or someone you know is struggling with problem gambling, free treatment is available in Nebraska. Call Choices 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300 for more information. Offices in Lincoln and Columbus. They will again be the sponsor of our weekly pick segment. Not starting this week, not enough meat to the bone for college football this weekend, Jess, so we'll get going next week, and we got a full boat of Big Ten games with 18 teams. It's going to take us a while to get through those Big Ten matchups during the non-conference portion.
Yes, and I'm ready. I'm going to, bounce back off of a bad season a year ago. I know the crown is waiting for you to put it on, so I think it's still here. It better still be here, so you'll have to wear it the first time throughout the first picks. That's what happens when you win last season, but I'm coming for it this year. So, and Searles apparently thinks he's coming for it too. I don't know why, but he thinks he's coming for it too.
Glutton for punishment.
Are we having the students all pick together again?
I think we should. I think we should identify those guys and let them each pick a week. I think that was fun for them to be involved, don't you?
I do. And then I guess Josh, the newbie, is going to hop on.
Josh can do that. That'd be good. So we'll have picks next week. Actually, we'll do it on Thursday's show because we don't have a Friday show next week because of Husker Volleyball will bump us off next Friday night. All right, 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text. Back with more of the show next.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian automotive vehicles in operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker Football Spring Game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corcoran Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TL Irrigation are like no other.
Experience the difference and save more when you shop at one of our 3 convenient Woodhouse Ford locations. And right now, it's more affordable than ever to get behind the wheel of a new vehicle when you visit a Woodhouse Ford dealership. Lease a 2024 Ford Escape Active for $279 a month for 48 months, 7,500 miles per year. With approved credit, security deposit waived, first payment, and $299 doc fee due at signing. Vehicle is a retired courtesy loaner. Stock number FC240429. Offer expires 9/2/24. See dealer for details.
Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you on a Friday night. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to fire off a text or a phone call. I'd love to hear from you here on a Friday night. Next Friday night, we'll have Husker Volleyball on the air, and then eve of then the Husker football opener with UTEP on Saturday. We had Ross Dellinger was part of the Place episode. He had a report out just a couple of hours ago that UConn has had some talks with the Big 12 about becoming a Big 12 conference member. Boy, you talk about a league that is already pretty stacked in basketball.
Yeah.
With Arizona, Houston, Kansas. If you put UConn in the Big 12 for hoops, my goodness, that'd be a loaded league for hoops.
It's almost like, okay, if the SEC and Big Ten are going to be the conferences for football, the Big 12 is like, let us take the basketball thing. Let us be number one in basketball. Because I think they've been pretty smart about trying to stay relevant despite losing, some of their big name teams. I mean, with Oklahoma and Texas going to the SEC. But hey, men's college basketball is still going to be a big part of this conversation. So if they can say, hey, we're number one, and adding UConn, yeah, absolutely. That continues to add to that argument that they might be third, right? Third, fourth in football.
They're the third conference. Yeah,
but if they're pretty much making a case to be hands down number one if they had UConn.
Yeah. Also, good luck to all the folks trying to make NFL rosters. The preseason will be wound down after this weekend, and cuts will be coming. So a lot of former Huskers out there trying to make teams. We'll try to track that for you next week on guys that stick, make the teams, maybe make a practice squad, those type of things. Interesting to see what the Jets do with Adrian. Adrian's had a couple of pretty good performances in the preseason. I know Jeremiah, his group represents Adrian, and I know a lot of Husker fans still pulling for Adrian to make a NFL roster. So we'll keep an eye on that early next week. But a lot of guys, it's a nervous time of year. They put a lot of work into those training camps, those preseason games, and now you sit back and you're nervous about whether you're going to make a team or not. One guy that's not nervous, and you know Creed Humphrey pretty well, the Kansas City Chiefs yesterday made him the highest paid center in the National Football League. He got a big chunk of change, like $62 million guaranteed. That's a lot of money for an Oklahoma boy.
Yeah, and hey, he's earned it. But I was thinking about that when you sent that to me. By the way, we got a phone call. Looks like Bob, the party starter, is calling in. But when you said that to me last night, I was thinking about, I interviewed him so many times and just how far he came. And he was like a tight end in high school and then became just a center and then just was the best in the country in high school and then became that. He started as a true freshman and then just was had an unbelievable career. So good for him. He's one of the good ones. He's a good guy, and so I'm happy for him, and hopefully he can continue to do good things. But he won't be the highest paid center for long, because how much often does it happen where it's like, oh, he's the highest paid quarterback, and 2 weeks later somebody else is. So it won't be long before he gets passed. But I'm glad he's the guy for now.
We have Bob locked in.
We got him. Not yet. We're not ready yet, but
okay. All right.
I'll let you
just
know.
Let me know when he
interject.
gets. Let him know when he gets locked in. We'd love to hear from Bob here tonight on Sports Highlights as we kind of wind our way down toward the end of another week. Again, Monday night, Troy Dannon in studio hour 1, his first AD show of the new school year. He'll be on once a month, and so we're looking forward to having Troy. Our next football show is Wednesday night. We'll hear from Glenn Thomas, Husker quarterbacks coach, and then John Cook's next radio show will be next Thursday night. Volleyball matches Tuesday, Friday. So we have a busy week on the network next week. Again, 402-413-2400, the number to be part of the program here on a Friday night. Let's go to Bob.
All right. Okay. What? Click the 1.
Punch the middle button.
I did.
On their name.
Camden, come do it.
Come on, Camden. Get in here and
there
operate.
There we go. Hello?
Hello.
There we go.
Hi, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, guys. Hey, I'm doing all right. It's the first time I'm going to miss a football season in a very, very long time. I won't be able to make it this year. I missed the red and white game because of shoulder surgery April 4th. July 2nd, I destroyed it. I had a big fall, destroyed it, and they have to go back in and redo it before they do the right one. So, and this one's going to have to be a new shoulder reversal, and hopefully by November, December, I can get the left one done, so I can make it to the red and white game. Hopefully, make it to the red and white game this year or next year. I missed it this year. Going to miss Fan Day and everything, but up here in Wyoming, thank God that I can still get you guys on the app, and you guys do a very good job, and I'm gonna, I will get to listen to you on the radio, and well, not the radio, but the app. So I'm not gonna miss the games. We just won't be there in person. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'd expect this team. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not only competing at the end for a Big Ten championship, but also the playoffs.
Man, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. And, hey, I'm sorry to hear about your shoulder. You need to take care of yourself. We need to get you back in Lincoln sooner than later.
Yeah, it's going to be next year before I can get back there, but everything's good in Wyoming. I got a new baby. She just turned 2 months as of yesterday. She's a little New Zealand and Tamuk little bunny, and she's my little pride and joy. I've got a mat. I just want to tell you, she likes Nebraska gymnastics. I got a mat up here, Nebraska mat, in front of the side door here, and she gets on that and does flips and all kinds of stuff. She don't do it anywhere else but on this mat.
Love it.
She loves Nebraska gymnastics. She's only 2 months old.
That is fantastic.
So,
Bob, good to hear from you. Take care of that shoulder. We'll miss you, but keep listening. We love having you on the program.
well, thank you, guys. Keep up the good work.
Awesome. Bob, good to hear Bob. But we call him the party starter, right?
And that's
gets us
when
fired
he
up.
called in, I saw that immediately. It's Bob, in parentheses, the party starter. I mean, he can get pretty excited. So we started to hear that energy a little bit there when he was talking about the gymnastics, but he can get it going. I think he's also the one that sent us the honey, right?
I believe so. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear about his shoulder.
That sent us the honey, but yeah. When you start hearing some of those guys, though, and seeing, we saw Pete call in. I don't think we got him on the show, but some of these other guys that are typical call-ins during football season, again, start continuing to add to that hype that it is almost here. It is almost here.
Love it. All right, when we come back, we're going to spin around the room, get everybody's winners and losers of the week. That's next.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting major Macy Byers with Campus News. Computer science student Luke Ferreter won a global competition for being the first to decode passages from an ancient scroll. Using advanced AI, Ferreter became the first in centuries to reveal words from a Greek scroll damaged in the eruption of Mount Vesuvius nearly 2,000 years ago. The Lincoln native earned a $700,000 cash prize and international recognition for his achievements.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Experience luxury car buying like never before with Genesis of Southwest Omaha. Right now, lease the 2024 Genesis G70 Sport Advanced all-wheel drive for just $499 per month. Get started online at southwestomahagenesis.com and shop our current offers happening right now. Or visit our showroom at Village Point today. 36 months, 10,000 miles per year with approved credit. Tax, title, license extra. $2,999 down plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires August 31st, 2024. See dealer for details.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team of Woodhouse, the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back. Final segment of the week. We've saved this every week for our winners and losers of the week. I think we're all winners because Henry's back in the fold with us now after a summer of lifeguarding, saving lives, pulling young children out of the pools. So we're going to start with Henry. Well, Henry, give me a winner and loser.
All right, I'll start with the winner. I'm going to go with Spencer Schwellenbach, who started for the Braves the other day, and they ended up getting the win. Threw for just over 6 innings, only allowed 3 hits, threw 9 strikeouts as well. Pretty good. And then
he has been on fire, by the way. He has just been phenomenal for the Braves. And that's a team I think is going to make the playoffs. And I could see the Braves giving Spencer maybe a long-term contract at the end of the year. I've been so happy for him. He's doing a great job. That's a good winner.
And then for the loser, I'm going with Iowa's head coach, Kirk Ferentz, who was suspended not too long ago for a recruiting violation with Cade McNamara.
Yeah, we talked about that the other night on the program. As Jess said, I think a lot of people probably have done what Kirk did, but they're trying to get ahead of the game and go ahead and self-impose that one game. Good stuff. All right, Jess, what do you have?
Okay, my loser of the week is the flag football quarterback, Daryl Doucette, who became viral this week saying that he's better than Patrick Mahomes. He said, quote, "At the end of the day, I feel like I'm better than Patrick Mahomes because of my IQ of the game." He's 5'8", 140 pounds, and he's the U.S. flag football quarterback. And so it went viral there. And then yesterday, I believe I saw some highlights of him throwing the football. And, I know he meant well. I'm sure he doesn't truly believe he's better than Patrick Mahomes. I don't know the guy, but that was just not a good quote. And it went viral. And then now people are all over showing all the highlights. So he's going to be my loser of the week.
That's awesome. How about your winner?
Oh, my gosh. I just forgot who my winner was. Who was I going to go with my winner? I lost it.
Come back to you.
I lost it. I lost my winner. I was so excited about my loser that I forgot my winner.
And it was a good one. It was a good one. All right. Well, if you think of it, we'll come back to you.
Yeah,
Camden, what do you have?
Camden, you're up next.
All right. Well, Jess stole my loser, so you might have to come back to me for the loser. We're jumping all around today. But my winner is Salvador Perez. Did you see he went and played some wiffle ball with a group of kids in Kansas City? He pulled over his car and asked if he could play, and the kids were confused until one of the 9-year-olds was like, "Guys, that's Salvi." So, that's kind of a cool story from their off day.
Awesome story. The neighbors are out shooting video of here's Salvador Perez, one of the best catchers in Major League Baseball, playing wiffle ball. He crashed the party, saw the kids playing wiffle ball, jumped out of his car, went in there and played with them, did a couple of innings. That is so cool. In fact, I had that down as one of my winners.
I remember my winner.
You have it?
Yes, I remember. I was going to go with Merritt Beeson, and we talked about her a lot last night and how she, was there for Harper. We heard Coach Cook talking about how they had a discussion before when Harper was meeting with the media for the first time, and Merritt was going to be there beside her side, stand up there with her, and she was there, just like the captain and teammate we come to know and love of Merritt Beeson. So I remember now. Merritt Beeson is my winner.
Fantastic. All right, my loser, I'm going with Colorado Athletics. I think this war you're putting on with a columnist from the Denver Post is ridiculous. I think CU Athletics, you don't win that battle. Have thicker skin. Go win more games. Go win more than you lose, and people are going to write better things about you. So that whole situation for me is my loser. My winner is the folks that are performing right now inside of Memorial Stadium, the pride of all Nebraska, the Cornhusker Marching Band. They've been practicing for the last several weeks in town getting ready for their season. Love the fact that they put on this free concert of Friday before school gets going. Love that there's a huge crowd out there for them tonight. Love those band kids. They make such a big difference in my eyes anyway for college football game days. It just sings college sports when you hear the marching band playing on campus during the week. So they're my winners for the week. Camden, did we come up with your other one?
Yes. The Ohio coach called out Alabama for stealing their kicker, so I'll say Alabama football for recruiting and stealing their kicker.
What a wild story. Miami of Ohio, they have a great kicker. Alabama swooped in the offseason. According to Miami of Ohio's coach, Bama illegally contacted this kid. He wasn't looking to leave, but they dangled some money in front of him and got him to transfer to Tuscaloosa. I'm glad you brought that one up.
Is there a one-game suspension coming there?
Let's see, right? Kirk Ferentz kind of set the bar out there, didn't he, for that? Well, you all enjoy your final weekend without Husker football. Thanks to Camden and Henry for steering the ship. Troy Dannon's Athletic Director Show coming your way Monday night, hour 1. Everybody have a great weekend. It's game week when we're back with you on Monday.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Here in Nebraska, we love our teachers. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is teaming up with Husker Athletics to recognize teachers who help students live their best and healthiest lives. Visit huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today to tell us about your favorite Nebraska educator. Winning teachers get a school day visit from Herbie Husker and a VIP experience at the 2025 Husker Football Spring Game, thanks to their biggest fans at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Head to huskers.com/touchdown for teachers today.
Elevate your journey and command the road like never before with a new vehicle from Woodhouse GMC. Plus, with our current offers going on now, you'll save even more. Receive up to $9,000 off MSRP on the 2024 GMC Sierra 1500. Woodhouse GMC, we are professional grade. With approved credit, tax title license extra. Must have 2010 or newer trade-in to qualify. Offer applies to select stock numbers. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires September 3rd, 2024. See dealer for details.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's go time in the Midwest. The Labor Day sales event is on now. Time to get 0% financing or $6,000 cash back on a new 2024 F-150. Don't wait. Get our best deals on our best selection of Ford trucks only through September 3rd. These deals won't last forever, so that means it's go time. Go to the Labor Day sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers today. It all ends September 3rd. Now get 0% financing